This conference will now be recorded.
Now let's try to understand how your trial balance is loaded into SAP, or in short, how your transaction data is uploaded in SAP. But in yesterday's session, we discussed about three parts of your cutover activities, which is your open client activity, master data, transaction data. Out of these three, this is most important activity, transaction data. Let's see how we are going to do this. So, trial balance or transaction data upload in SAP. Okay. Now, before we start doing this, you have to understand certain one-liner points. First thing, what is your project go live date? Okay, this is your first point that you have to keep in your mind. Second point, for which month you should get TB from your client. Okay. Third one, what is cutover and catch over data? What is your cutover date? Fifth point, what is your catch over date? Okay, what document type is used for opening balance upload? Okay, there will be other simple points that we will add later on, but to this extent you have to understand at the beginning. Now the first point is, what is your project go live date? Because your cutover data, especially your initial balance upload or trial balance upload, transaction data upload, happens only for your implementation projects or your rollout projects, right? So you have to know, let's say go live date is assuming March 15, 2023. Clear?
Yes,
Assuming
sir.
your go live date is 15th March 2023. Now, this is your first point. This is just the assumption. You can fill this with any of your own imaginary figures. So assuming your go live date is 15th March 2023. So for this, now you've got the answer. For this second one, for which month you should get TB from your client? It is always your go
February.
live previous month. If you are going live in the month of March, you'll have to get the trial balance for February. If you are going live in April, you have to get the trial balance for March. It is always go live previous month, immediate previous month trial balance you need from your client. So Feb 2023 TB is required. This is always go live previous month. Correct?
Yes.
Now, third one. Third point, what is cutover and catchover data? Now, cutover is go live previous month data, in short TB, right? And catchover is go live month from first till go live previous date. In short, in our case, what will be the catchover date? Catchover data 1st March to
15th March.
go live previous date. What is your go live date?
14th
15th March.
15th March. So what will be the previous date for 15th March?
14th.
14th.
14th March. So tomorrow if somebody is asking you what is your cutover data, what is your catchover data, how do you decide what is your cutover date, what is your catchover date, then you must be in a position to answer. If you are not able to decide what is your cutover date, what is your catchover date, having known the fact you are going live on 15th March, then it's of no use. The whole idea of your cutover or your initial data upload concept explanation is of no use, because these are the basic fundamentals without which you will not be able to move forward, right? So cutover is always go live previous month full data, in short trial balance. Since we are going live on 15th March, February 2023 trial balance will act as your cutover data for you. Clear? And catchover is the partial data of a particular month. Let's say you are going live on 15th March. So on 15th onwards, you are going to record your transactions on the system live. But March 1st until March 14th, whatever the transactions you have are treated as catchover data. Right? Catchover is always go live month information until you go live, because it will be partial days, maybe 5 days, maybe 10 days, maybe 15 days, maybe 20 days. But your cutover is always a full month trial balance, which is always previous month of your go live month. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, fourth point. According to this statement, what will be your cutover date?
20th
28
February.
Feb 2023. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Cutover date is 28th Feb 2023. And catchover date. What is your catchover date?
14th March.
It will be 14 March 2023. Correct?
Yes.
Now, sixth one is obviously document type that you are going to use for your initial balance upload. Normally, what we
Yes.
do, we will be creating a new document type. If you're not talking, go on mute, Raju. I think. Normally, what we will do, we will create new document types for the initial balance upload or for your cutover activities or your initial TB upload, transaction data upload. Usually, these document types will begin from you. They begin from what?
You.
In most of the projects, we will use U. Your document type is a 2-digit alphanumeric value. You can create any 2-digit, but preferably we will use U series. Maybe UD or UA, US, UK. Okay, so this US, UK and all are not country codes. What we normally represent is U represents upload. U represents upload. If you are uploading asset related, you may keep UA, asset upload, like that. If you are uploading GL related transactions, you may use US. In some projects, we will create different document type based on the account type. In some projects, we will use single document type for all the account types. It depends. There is no hard rule that you have to go only with this approach. It is up to you and your project manager, or it depends on the project team how they are planning this. Clear? You may also call it as UD. UD represents customer related transactions, or UK represents vendor related transaction. Okay. Something like this you will have to create. And for this, there will be a different number range we may assign. Okay, we may assign a different number range for this to identify based on the document number itself. This is a opening balance transaction, because all other transactions will have different numbering sequence, maybe 1 series, 2 series, 3 series. For this, you may use a different series. For this, you may use a different series through which it will be easy for any user or any consultant to understand, okay, this was initial balance uploaded transaction. Now you can also put,
We need to add these documents in document splitting.
yes, what number ranges to be used. Any new document type you create, your document splitting config is must. Number range will add what GLs are used to load TB, offset TB. Now for point number 7, number ranges, you can use any number range. So any new number range which is not used for regular postings. When I say any number range which is not used for regular postings, I mean we may be using number range 010203. We do not mean number range 010203. We mean what is the number sequence, your document number series, whether it is 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, 4 series, what series is used for your ideal day-to-day transactions. Apart from them, you are going to pick one series. One series, I mean any different series you are going to allot exclusively for your opening balance upload, so that you will have a unique document number series exclusively to identify initial balance upload or your cutover data upload. Clear?
Yes.
You can probably take 4 series or 8 series, 7 series, any series. But when you create all the number ranges, you will look at all the numbers that are created and you will pick one number range which is not in the regular series. And for 8th one, what GLs are used to offset trial balance? So we use migration or takeover technical GLs to offset trial balance. Okay, when we talk about migration accounts, takeover account, technical accounts, we are talking about a different series of GL accounts to offset your trial balance. Okay, so this is most likely we will use 8 series GL accounts. Okay, in most of the projects, or the standard approach is to create 8 series GL account as your technical accounts or takeover accounts. Even if somebody is asking you upfront, tell them that you have used 8 series GL account. Document type you have used U series, maybe UA, US, UD, UK. Tell exactly the similar way. They ask why you've created multiple document types. You tell to identify, or the document types are created based on account type. For all the assets, we have used UA document types. For all the GLs, we have used US document type. For all the customers, UD. For all the vendors, UK. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if you answer it is not sufficient, if you get a cross question, make sure you are in a position to justify your statement. That's it. At least with one line, be in a position to talk a little more about it. Just to give an impression, you're you're not reading a statement, right? These are the basic fundamentals that you have to remember before you start your cutover activities or your initial balance upload. Now, having seen these are all the points that we have to remember. Now, let us assume you will have scenarios. Okay, in this again you will have different scenarios. Let's say scenario one may be only leading ledger with one currency. Only leading ledger with one currency. When we say only leading ledger with one currency, I say 0L and 10. What is 10?
Document currency.
10 is your document currency or company code currency,
Company code, sorry, company code, company. 0.
right? What is 0L?
Leading ledger.
0L is leading ledger, 10 is company code currency. So now slowly you have to start adopting SAP terminology. Right? When we talk about only leading ledger with one currency which is mandatory currency for any company code is local currency or company code currency. Your local currency or company code currency is identified by currency type 10 in SAP. Now, option number two ledgers with one currency. When we talk about two ledgers, there may be 0L and NL and 10. When I say 0L, I mean leading ledger. When I say NL, for an example, non-leading ledger, 10, I mean again company code currency. Clear? Now, third one, two ledgers with two currencies. When I say two ledgers, I mean both leading and non-leading, which will be 0L, NL, and 10, 30. 0L represents leading ledger, NL represents non-leading ledger, 10 represents company code currency, 30 represents which currency?
Group currency.
30 represents group currency. Now your ideal situation, ideal scenario in most of the projects is this. This is your ideal scenario. You may also have these scenarios. You may also have scenarios where you have more than two ledgers, more than two currencies. That is also possible, but the ideal scenario is this. Okay.
Ajay, one quick question. I wish Vishal this side.
Yeah.
Uh, in my current project, there is one leading ledger, one tax ledger. but the joint venture ledger is not there anymore in 2020 version. Is that correct? The joint venture has already been merged with the leading ledger now and with the in the AC Docker table,
Correct.
and they have multiple currencies. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go ahead with this scenario. For an example, if you understand this, these two are already covered in it. Now, first, what you will get trial balance from your client. Without a trial balance, there is no concept of initial balance upload or opening balance upload or cutover activity completion in SAP. Be very clear with it. When you get a trial balance, first thing that you'll have to remember is know the trial balance format. So your format can be anything, whether it is the generic format that we've studied in our accounting, or you can prepare in any format, because trial balance does not represent debit credit separately. It will put all the debits on one side, it will put all the credits on the other side. The only thumb rule is your debit total must be equivalent to credit total. In short, if I sum all the transaction values of my trial balance, I should get zero value. That's the only rule. So whatever the format you prepare, it is your choice. So let's say we are going to prepare trial balance in such a way that I'll say particulars, or simply put account name, to reduce the sizes. Okay. Account number, amount in LC assuming INR, amount in group currency, let's assume dollar. Clear with this format?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say account name. Now, basically, few things that you'll have to understand about a trial balance. TB includes below accounts. One is your assets, two is your liabilities, three is your incomes, four is your expenses. Are these four covering entire accounts or anything else is missing?
Shareholder equity.
Are these four covering all the account types? When
Yes,
we
sir.
talk about asset, we are representing all the assets, current asset, whatever the asset it is. Similarly, all the liabilities, all the incomes, all the expenses. In short, your trial balance contains overall transactions of your organization. Nothing is left over out of the trial balance. If some account is not part of trial balance, which means the account is not part of your business. Now, here, let's put some examples as, let us take some asset examples. I'll put cash, I'll put bank. When I say cash, let me put cash as Hyderabad, because when you have cash balances, typically this cash balance is your petty cash balance or cash journal balance. Am I correct? So we
Yes,
are
sir.
not going to create cash as cash. You will have cash followed by this cash is operated at which location or at which branch. Let me put cash Mumbai, something like this. You may have some 20, 30, 100 cash journals also in your original trial balance. We are writing only few for an example. Bank. I'll say when you write bank, it is not just bank. You should also mention which bank it is. I'll say HDFC Bank. If I put only HDFC Bank, this is not sufficient because your trial balance is not going to have only the bank account. It will have bank main account along with the sub accounts. So HDFC Bank main, I'll say HDFC Bank check incoming, HDFC Bank check outgoing, let's say transfer outgoing and a transfer incoming. Clear? The naming convention may be different according to business, client to client, but you will have all your sub accounts as incoming and outgoing. I'm writing only one bank, but you may have some 10 banks, 20 banks, 30 banks with an organization. If there are 30 banks, 30 into your sub accounts. If it is 5, 150 GL accounts of bank alone you will get. Now, we've covered cash, we've covered bank. Then let's say
Sir, in legacy application, if we are maintaining only one bank account, then here only one bank account is enough, no, sir? Instead of in and out.
yes. But still your trial balance is going to have the account with zero balance. Okay, if you're not having, still you're going to maintain this account because trial balance is nothing but your list of chart of account.
GLs we will create, but it will not have any balance.
It will not have any balance. This comes with zero value. So that tomorrow there should not be a question that this account is not part of the trial balance. Is this left out or they forgot to add this? That is not the case, right? This does not have any balance. So let's put zero value. Okay, even in your real environment, your account or your TB will come with zero value. If there is no transaction, it will still be part of your TB with zero. Next is your accounts receivable. Do we write only accounts receivable or you have accounts receivable with a breakup in your reports? Nobody will write only accounts receivable. You will put accounts receivable, let's say domestic, accounts receivable foreign, I'll say accounts receivable one time, accounts receivable interco, say accounts receivable employees. Right, you will have like this. And next, other receivables. What else will be part of your assets? Fixed assets,
Fixed assets.
land and
Depreciation.
buildings, furniture and fixtures, motor vehicles, computers, softwares and licenses, plant and machinery, something like this. And then you will have for everything associate depreciation balance sheet account, which is your accumulated depreciation. So you will have same thing, accumulated depreciation. You should not be surprised when you look at the trial balance when you're in a project. That may be a big size containing 200 accounts, 300 accounts, 500 accounts. Right? First, you have to know how trial balance looks like, how you have to understand it, and then how you have to break this down, and how you have to upload the data. How, in short, you'll have to bring the copy of your trial balance from Excel sheet to SAP. Okay, so far, as an example, we have written 27 accounts only for the assets. We are not done yet with assets. Any other assets? We're not writing all the assets, we are only writing few assets for an example. Okay. Stock. In stock, what categories you will have? Let's say inventory, raw materials, inventory, semi-finished, inventory, finished materials, inventory, packing materials. Okay, like this you'll have the different accounts. In the similar way, you will get all the accounts of the assets which your client is using. List maybe around 100 for assets alone, maybe around 80, 100, more than 100. It depends on the client to client, business to business. And let's put some liabilities now. Capital. What else?
Accounts payable,
Secured loans, unsecured loans,
bank overdraft,
bank overdrafts,
suspense account,
Outstanding.
outstanding expenses. Let's put this accounts receivable and then simply change this. Okay, and then accounts payable, domestic, foreign, one time, intercompany, employees and all. What else will be there? Any other
suspense,
liabilities? No, not suspense account. Let's say taxes payable or other payables. We will also have advances. Vendor, this is liability, right? Customer advances. Similarly here, sorry, liability is your vendor advance only. And here let's put customer advances. Any others?
Provisions.
Provisions. Okay. Okay. Enough of this. Some incomes you'll have, let's say, domestic sales,
Interest.
foreign sales, intercompany sales, one-time sales, interest received, discount received, realized FX gain, and then unrealized FX gain, asset sales. Any others? Let's say simply I'll put other income, expenses like rent, salaries, labor,
Purchases. Domestic purchases.
realized
Oh,
FX loss, unrealized FX loss. We don't write purchases. The way you write sales, there will be no account called purchases. Because when you're writing a purchase, you have to mention what you're purchasing. So your accounting entry itself will not go to purchase entry, purchase account. Wherever you're talking about purchase, you're representing either capex or opex. If your purchase is a capital expenditure, you'll have to route it to the appropriate asset account. If your purchase is a OPEX, operating expense, you'll have to route it to the appropriate operating expense. This purchase belongs to stationery, you put this on the stationery account, not on the purchase account. So in short, there is no account called purchase. Clear? All right. Let's say discount given, interest paid. Assuming these are the transactions of your trial balance. Okay, these are the transactions of trial balance. I think we have written around 63 accounts. This is quite a big number, but in your real environment, you'll have more than 200 accounts in your trial balance. Now, this is the basic version of trial balance that we're drafting, and this will have the further continuation of it. So what is that further continuation? We'll write once we fill up the account information. So next thing, against each account name, your client will give you account number. This account number, now if you want, let's make it even more simplified. Account number, legacy, account number, SAP.
Ajay, quick question.
Yes, yes.
Uh, when you're talking about legacy and SAP, are you talking about moving data from SAP to SAP, or is it something from a non-SAP to SAP?
Both are possible.
Both are possible. Okay.
Okay, here what your client will initially do is they will extract the trial balance from their legacy system. Okay, their legacy system can be SAP system, non-SAP system. Okay, assuming they are using Oracle, they are using Tally, JD Edwards, or any other application. What they do, they will extract the trial balance from their legacy system. Any legacy system or any accounting software will give you trial balance. Yes, no,
Yes.
right? Trial balance will come, and this trial balance will come along with account name and account number. Am I correct?
Yes.
So your client will straight away get your account name and account numbers, legacy account numbers. Let's say this can be any account number. I'll say 100 1001 until okay. Let's say these are the account numbers from legacy. Similarly, for this 2001, 2002, this 3001. This is also 2014. Sorry, 3002. And then 4001. Let's say these are their legacy account numbers. Clear? And against each account number, they will do a mapping called legacy account number to SAP account number. Sometimes what will happen, they may have only one account. They may have only one account in their legacy system, but in SAP, they may split the account into multiple. So in such cases, they will do a different working. They'll put common legacy account number, but they'll put different SAP account numbers. Okay, so this exercise is all your client activity. You're not going to work on this. Your client is going to prepare this Excel sheet, and then they are going to send it. But from you, as a FICO consultant, you must be in a position to understand the trial balance first. You're able to understand the trial balance, your cutover activity or your data migration activity is very simple. There is nothing complicated in it. The complication will come into picture only when you are not able to understand the trial balance. Clear? It is very simple. Let's say SAP account numbers. Now, when they map SAP account number against each legacy asset, they have to consider, they have to keep SAP account groups in mind, right? Now, in their legacy, they may be having like this, but in SAP, they would have already created. When you are at the transaction data upload, you would have already completed GL master upload, which means chart of account upload. So they will take chart of account screen, or they will take chart of account dump or file given to them by you as a consultant. They will simply do a VLOOKUP of this legacy account number to SAP account number. They will have all these mappings. All this file exchange would have happened before you come to this stage. So they will bring all the SAP account numbers here. Let's say for an example, assuming we are using 8-digit account number 10001.
Sir, question.
Next one, I think I'll remove this. Let me put cash clearing. 1 all zeros 4, and then let's create some accounts for bank.
Sir, if there are no number ranges in legacy system, then
If there are,
no account number ranges in legacy system for GLs.
then in SAP it will come. Then they are not going to work on the account number, then they are going to work on account description to account description.
Okay.
Okay, so this activity, now we are at the trial balance activity. By this time, your GL account mapping is already completed. Your legacy system GLs to SAP system GLs discussion, GL creation in SAP is already completed, because that is part of your master data upload. Your chart of account is part of master data upload. By the time you are at TB upload or cutover activity for transaction, you will have all the accounts already in place. And we would have given the chart of account from SAP to client, and he will prepare the file according to SAP account numbers. We are writing this just to have the genuine trial balance field. Okay, so I'll put 1 2. Let's take 1 4. Not writing the accurate account numbers, but just to differentiate, we are putting the information. Inventory, I'll take 1 5. Inventory GL still here. Okay, now from here, liability. Let's take 2 series. We also need one thing called retained earnings.
So retained earnings will be the fifth portion of like asset, liability, income, expense, and then retained earnings. Is that right?
Correct, correct. The retained profits of previous years.
Okay. And retained profits are the ones which have not been shared and been used in the company itself to for the more benefits, right?
Right. Say 22. $23. Vendor advances. Where is vendor advances? We'll put the same sequence 5. Provisions. Let me put in this only 2. Retained earnings. Let's take 24. This is 3 series. 1 0 1. 31. All zeros. Let's say 2 here. This will be 1. 32. This will be 4. Other income, let's take 33. This I'll take 0. 1. 2. Let's take 41. 42. Clear? Huh? Like this, you will get all the GL account numbers. Y number is 7 digit. Okay.
Sir, question.
Yes.
Once this generic file we create the trial balance from the legacy system and we put in the new SAP numbers, uh, you mentioned that consider the SAP account groups in mind. The account groups are already predefined in SAP. That's what we align with, right? All the GLs. So
Correct.
do we also include one line which includes the account group in this, or is it something that is a
No,
separate activity?
that's a separate act. Account group is considered for your chart of account mapping initially, because chart of account mapping is where you're going
Yes.
to create this GL accounts.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yeah.
when we are talking about this trial balance, these GLs are already created.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So since we are not talking about master data at this point, so I've told we have to keep account group in mind so that we'll not put random numbers here.
Okay.
So when you look at this, it should look as if you're looking at a real-time trial balance, what you get if you're in a project. And
And
then amount, sorry, go ahead.
since I have just joined, my apologies, I was late.
No, it's okay.
The topic is how the data gets migrated from a legacy system to SAP system. Is that the topic?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, first, your client is going to fill the data only in local currency, not in group currency. Keep in your mind, only this is filled up. This is not filled up by your client initially. Okay. So for cash, let's say the balance is around 3 lakh here, or I'll say I'm just taking random numbers. So don't think why I'm writing this number. Whatever comes in my mind, I'm putting here. And you have to pay attention on the account balance, whether this is a debit balance or credit balance, because you're not going to put debit separate, credit separate. Right? Everything will be in one column. Debit balance will be a positive figure. Credit balance will be a negative figure. Clear? Make sure you are maintaining the discipline. HDFC Bank main account, let's say some 45, this much incoming, some this number, outgoing will always show a negative balance. Incoming, outgoing, okay, accounts receivable, let's say employees. Customer advance, other receivable, land and building, furniture, plant and machinery, accumulated depreciation. All these are negative numbers. By looking at the account or nature of account, it should strike in your mind that this should ideally have a debit balance or credit balance. Sometimes your client may commit a mistake. They may put or they may forget to put signs, positive, negative. So you have to cross verify from the accounting side as well, not only from the SAP side.
Okay. If when we talk about the accounting side, Ajay,
Yeah,
asset is in a debit side, like a plus side, then it's positive balance, right? Same way, if
correct.
we talk about an expense if it's in a positive side, that means it's in a positive, like it's debited, right? So expense and asset have a same kind of method, and liability and income has the same kind of method. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
raw material.
But there can be a situation where client is in
Yes,
negative. Yeah, so
there can be situations where the ideal balance is positive or negative, but it can be other way around also.
hmm.
But there are certain accounts which are exception for this, like your cash accounts. Your cash is not supposed to have negative number.
But it can be because of the overdraft.
Yes, but whereas your bank can go negative.
Yeah, bank can go negative. Correct. Correct. When we say bank means bank main account. Is that right?
Main
Not
account,
incoming
main account.
outgoing. Main account.
Yes,
After reconciliation. Okay.
correct. Secured loans. Now these are capital, negative number, secured loans. Still have a lot. Tax payable, advances. Your vendor advance will show a positive number. Provisions, retained earnings, let's say some 40 lakhs. Sales. Sales will show positive or credit. Negative.
Sales will be negative.
Negative.
Credit balance.
Interest received, let's say. Asset sale, other income. All expenses, debit. Now let's say you've got all the balances. What next? How you are going to verify the authenticity of your trial balance?
By
Based on
doing
what
some
logic? You'll have to do a sum, and the sum of your trial balance is supposed to be
zero.
number or
Zero.
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 It is not becoming zero. All right, so we'll have to adjust the numbers to make it zero. Let's put
Credit is more than debit.
right. This is coming in negative, so I'll either have to reduce negative.
What is more? Reduce that. What is less? Increase it.
Huge number. Capital. Still a huge number. Did I put minus everywhere? Yes.
So try to use the formula again because it looks like
No, correct only. Now we are getting negative balance.
start reducing one character from each now. Let's see how it goes. Like if you have 34, 3,70,000 or 40,000, make it 37,000, something like that.
A huge difference. So what we'll do, probably we'll revamp these numbers. Instead of identifying this one by one, this negative is where we are getting problem. 49, huge numbers we have put somewhere.
This is the number.
Two double one. Now it has become positive. Capital. Where is capital? Let's add something to capital. Increased. Now this problem is coming because we are randomly taking left and right figures, but in real environment this will not be the case. 673.
So if we reduce this exact number 6732021 from capital, will that work for us?
Yeah. But I think capital we have given a less number. Capital.
Capital has a huge number.
I should probably reduce this from 5 to 7. Now let me reduce this. It should work. Hmm? I have to put positive, I guess. Capital. Negative only. What I did here.
Sir, is capital liability?
Yeah,
So that should be credit, right?
negative.
That should be negative, right? So negative means
Yes.
debit.
We again got into positive number. Let me reduce one number from here. We are in positive. So I have to reduce. This is positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are able to make it zero. This is
Yes.
the first point. When you get the
Yes, sir.
trial balance, make sure the amount is in number format. These are the basic fundamentals, but you should not ignore them. Sometimes they put number, but this may not be in number format. When you do a total, this is not included in it. You got what I'm saying? So make sure you put this in number format, and sum should be blank or zero. Once you get this, now what figures did you get? Local currency figures or group currency figures?
Local currency.
Local.
Local currency figure. Group currency figure, your client is not going to give you. Group currency, some cases your client will give you, in some cases your client is not going to give you. So here what you are going to do is, you're not talking, go on mute. Let me write here. LC client provides, and group currency client might provide, client might give, exchange rates to calculate. Both are possible. For group currency, either your client will put the numbers and then give you, or they will simply tell, okay, consider this exchange rate and then bring the group currency. Why group currency your client will not give? There are two reasons. There are two reasons. When you are uploading any transaction in SAP, it is not necessary to put group currency. Am I correct? If you put local currency, group currency is auto calculated by the system.
Yes, sir.
Is my statement correct? If I have two currencies, if I put local currency, my group currency is auto calculated by the system. So that is one reason your client will not give, but that is not the recommended approach. So you, especially when you are, let me put this here, while uploading opening balance, we will not allow system to convert group currency value. Why we will not allow system to convert group currency value? Because if you allow system to convert group currency value, it will lead to mismatch. It will lead to your TB mismatch. When I say it will lead to your TB mismatch, you may not be getting zero in the group currency. There may be a residual value, right? Because to get that value there, you have to ensure you have converted the number with the accurate figure, accurate exchange rate. So that may not happen if you are allowing system to do it. So mostly what we will do, exchange rate will be segregated as two parts. Okay, first one will be month end rate, second one will be spot rate. Now I think everybody is aware of this, right? Month end rate and spot rate.
Yes, sir. Portrait
Right?
don't know.
So your client will tell which exchange rate to be used for this. Let's say month end exchange rate you are using for balance sheet accounts, spot rate you are using for P&L account. So you will get clear instructions from your client. You do not have to take a decision on this. Everything you are doing according to client instruction, because tomorrow they are the ones who have to be satisfied with the numbers on SAP. Clear? It's not that you have to do all alone and then you have to take your own decisions. Nothing as such. You will discuss each and every point with your business and then you will proceed further. Based on these exchange rates, you are going to maintain the foreign currency conversion. So when I say foreign currency conversion, let's say spot rate assuming is 70, say MER SR spot rate, assuming this is 85 and this is 82. Now your client told for all the balance sheets you can convert with MER which is 85. So what I'm going to do, I am going to simply divide this by this. Am I going to get some dollar number?
Yes, sir.
Now similarly you have to calculate for all this. When you calculate for all this, let's say I'll copy for all the balance sheet accounts. That's what we got. And next, for all the P&L accounts, we are going to convert with what rate? Spot rate.
Portrait.
Now, copy this, paste until here. Now you got this rate also. Now the point is, when I do a total for this, is this matching or there is a balance left?
Balance left also.
Balance is
Difference is
left. This is the ideal scenario even when you work in any project, right? Because you're not going to expect group currency from your client because they will not sit to that extent. They'll simply tell, okay, you can convert with this exchange rate. Option number one, you can update the exchange rate on the system. Option number two, when you're uploading the data, you will also feed group currency manually to avoid any mismatches. Now, when you get this differences, what you normally do is you are going to adjust this difference with, this is also a question you will get in your interview. Any TB difference in group currency. There is no scope for difference in local currency. Be very clear. Okay. Any TB difference in group currency will be adjusted with FX gain loss accounts. Which account?
Forex gain loss.
Forex gain and loss account. So now we have Forex gain loss accounts somewhere here, right? So you'll have to adjust this with here, realized or unrealized. Let's say I'll reduce this is equal to this plus this 419.66. If I put 419.66, no, then my calculation, what I did, I have to minus 677.91. 677.91. Now, did this become zero?
Yes.
Right? Now, this also you'll have to bring in the accounting figure. It has become zero. So you have to ensure your trial balance is fully zero like this. This is your first level of your cutover activity. So this trial balance is something worked upon by your client and then they will share it with you. By looking at this, you have to understand the trial balance and then from this you have to split or break down your trial balance into multiple partitions. Let's say. Now clear with this TB format numbers how we got
One question.
group currency. Yes.
I missed the part, like how did you manage to balance out to zero that 129? Did you make any changes to the spot rate, or did you make any changes
Yeah.
to the
No. I adjusted this in the unrealized loss gain.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So any TB difference in group currency will be adjusted with FX gain loss accounts.
Got
And
it.
this you are going to do only with the confirmation from your client. You will be sending an email officially to them. They will acknowledge it. Please adjust in the FX gain loss account.
Okay.
Because when you're writing an email, you will specifically mention, please confirm where to adjust, or please confirm if we can adjust in this account. They'll simply tell, okay, please proceed or go ahead. Then you are going to do this.
Okay.
Okay. So once you get this, first thing you'll have to look at the trial balance, ensure balances are zero. You're not supposed to get 0.01 also. Even if it is 0.01, you have to adjust that 0 point somewhere. Once you have this, the next steps will be split TB into different parts. How we are going to split the trial balance into different parts? That will be your GL open items. Okay, GL non-open items. Third one will be fixed assets. Fourth one will be your customer accounts. Fifth will be your vendor accounts. Sixth will be your cash account. Seventh will be your bank accounts. Eighth will be your depreciation expense accounts. Ninth will be your stock accounts. Okay, if you remember up to this 9, it is fine. So the further breakup is not that much relevant for your level. Okay, so what you'll have to do, you'll have to split what are the GL open items, what are GL non-open items. So GL open items, let me be very specific. These two are balance sheet accounts. In short, asset liabilities. Fixed asset, this is a balance sheet account, correct? Customer is a balance sheet.
This will be done by only one consultant, sir.
There may be couple of consultants working, but in some projects, let's say if you're working in a small organization, there may not be multiple consultants, only one consultant will have to do. If you are working in a big organization, this may be broken down into different people. That's what we are writing, the different parts. But the intention is, if you are working all alone, you must be in a position to complete without anybody's help. This is again balance sheet account. These are again balance sheet accounts. This is P&L. This is balance sheet. Then 10th one is your P&L accounts. These are basically P&L. Clear? For this, we need breakup, or we need transaction wise breakup is required. For this, not required. Breakup not required. Asset wise breakup required. Here customer wise, here you need vendor wise cash. Here also you need cash journal wise breakup required. This is GL wise breakup required. Depreciation, no manual entry for current year acquired assets. Stock, we need stock category wise breakup required. When I say stock category, raw material, finished material, semi-finished, at that level breakup is needed. P&L breakup not required. Clear so far?
Yes, sir.
So these points you just read through and try to remember how we've prepared this trial balance. In short, you must be in a position to make your own trial balance like this. Now here, how many we have made? We've added around 65 GL accounts, but remember, when you're in a project, you will get a trial balance with more than 200 accounts, probably 500 accounts, 1000 accounts also in your trial balance. So imagine how big your trial balance will be. Clear? but the logic is same, concept is the same, whether you have 60 accounts, whether you have 10 accounts, it is the same concept. You have to catch the concept, then the number of entries that you're having on your trial balance is not going to affect anywhere for you, because you're going to play with the Excel sheet, you're going to play with your numbering logic along with your accounting application. Right, read through these points. Okay, so in the next session I'll explain you how these balances are uploaded in SAP and what exactly we mean by this partitions or this splitting of trial balance, how your client will split this and give it to you, how you are going to reconcile this TB splitting. Before you load, there is a huge activity to be performed from our side as a consultant. Lot of reconciliations will have to be performed. So what reconciliations we will do before uploading, what reconciliations we will do after uploading, we will discuss in the next session. Okay. All right.